Hi friends, welcome back to easyhouse.com YouTube channel. Today we'll be answering a very important question for all those people who are looking to invest into international markets. If you want to know the answer as to why you should invest into global markets, I'll request you please see our entire video. I'd like to tell you that we've hit 500 subscribers and we are looking to make a community of 1 lakh subscribers. So if you've not subscribed to our channel till now, I'll request you please hit the subscribe button. If you do so, you stand a chance to win a Amazon Alexa speaker worth 10,000 rupees. So please hit the subscribe button if you want to win the speaker. So let's start with why you should look at investing in international markets. There are 3 important reasons why a person should actually invest into international stock markets. First is, there are a number of great companies which Indians use, like say Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Instagram, Amazon on a daily basis. But unfortunately, till now, there was no method or a way for us to actually invest into these companies. So a lot of people were using these companies. These are great global companies, have huge potential. And it was till now, we were only investing in Indian markets because of our familiarity with Indian markets, and we know more of Indian markets than global markets. And there were also rules and regulations which prevented Indians from investing a specific amount in global markets. And now that situation has actually changed, and because of globalization and India opening up more, a lot of different avenues are available for us to invest. Now, first primary reason why you should look at is because these companies which you're investing into, especially these tech companies, are very, very good companies, right? So if someone wants to invest into Toyota or say Samsung, you cannot do it because they're not listed in India. Or for that matter, for the American companies, right? So be it Amazon, Microsoft, we use them day to day in our day-to-day life, but we are not investing into these companies. So we are missing out on a big opportunity. Second is, if you have kids who are growing up and you want them to study abroad. So there's always this point, which is that your expenditure is going to be in US dollars and your investments are in Indian rupees. So over a period of time, because there's a higher interest rate, the inflation is high in India and interest rates are higher. So due to this interest, our currency will always depreciate compared to a US dollar to maintain this interest rate parity. So if you're getting like say 8%, 6% interest rate difference between Indian markets and the US markets, so our currency should ideally depreciate that much percent on an annual basis. So 10 years back, our currency was at 36 to 40. Now it has come up to almost 75. So this parity will always be there. So if you're looking at sending your kids abroad to study, it is important that you have a certain section of your money or your certain investments in US dollars. Now, a third very important aspect is diversification. Because we are investing into different asset classes, we always advocated any advisor or any person you've talked to, your banker or your investment advisor will always tell you the importance of diversification. So we were diversifying across asset classes, but this is not actually true diversification because you're not getting global diversification. So when you see at equity markets all over the world, they're actually uncorrelated to a very large extent. And there's geographical diversification. Investing only into one country, your country specific risk also comes down. So all these factors actually contribute to give you a much more diversified portfolio, and hence you should look at investing in global markets. So what happens is, imagine you have your investments in Indian stock markets and there's a decision like demonetization and market falls down by 30%. So if you have a global diversification, you've invested across different sectors or different countries or different markets, so a certain part of your portfolio will actually be immune to these kind of country specific risk which will come up. So it's important to have that, and that kind of portfolio will give you more stability in your returns and give you a higher return with lesser risk. So these are the main factors why you should actually look at investing into global companies. So let's look at how a person can invest in global markets or invest abroad. So first, there are different brokers which have come up which help you invest into markets in the US or in Europe or in Korea or in Japan. And these brokers are available online. You just need to open your account and start investing in companies which you are keen on investing. A second way is to invest into a feeder fund. A feeder fund is like a mutual fund which is investing into mutual funds abroad. So you will have like a DSP World Gold Fund or a US Opportunities Fund. So these funds are collecting money in India, and then directly this money is moving out into another fund which is actually based out of, which is not based in India. So they're just feeding into that fund, and that fund is actually investing into global equities. Third way is to do it through these Indian specific funds which are investing 35% of their corpus into equities which are listed abroad. You have the Parag Parikh long-term equity fund, and you can invest into funds like these which actually have like a 65-35 division of investing into global markets. So 35% invest into global markets. So what is the advantage of this fund compared to a feeder fund? First is these funds are actually taxed as equity funds and not as debt funds. A feeder fund unfortunately is taxed like a debt fund. You're going to have a debt taxation on it, which is 33% in the short term, and in the long term it comes down. And so if you hold it for long term for more than 3 years, then you have a long term debt taxation on it. So this is a big disadvantage of the feeder fund. A fourth way to invest is you actually cut all the scrap and you only invest into ETFs. And ETFs abroad are like mutual funds, but they're, you can invest into like the S&P 500, which is actually a very good way of investing because your costs are much lower and you get a good diversification across all sectors. So anyone who's looking to invest into US companies or the US markets can actually initially start off with looking at ETFs. The best option is to do through ETFs, and as you become better picking stocks, you can probably start investing into direct stocks. And a very good option is to invest into these Indian funds where the fund manager is picking these good stocks for you. So these are the options which are available for you. Now, before we look at investing, we should actually understand the disadvantages also of investing. So one of the disadvantages I told you is you're going to have a higher taxation if you invest through a feeder fund. And a second thing which is going to happen is if you're investing in dollars, there is a chance that your currency might appreciate in value as well. So India is a growing economy. The economy does very well in the long term. Our currency can also appreciate with respect to the American dollar. And in that case, whatever your returns are there from your investments, they can actually come down, unfortunately. And you can have a lower return on your investment. So these are the risks which are there. And you should be aware of these risks, that there is a currency risk which is associated with investing in a different currency. So, but I would suggest that it's a good option. And another question which will come up now is how much can I invest and what percentage of my portfolio should be invested into global equities. As we go in the future and India becomes more in sync with global markets and more companies come here, your exposure can keep increasing based on what returns you're getting, or when you become more comfortable with them, you can increase the exposure. But to have a 10 to 15% exposure in global markets, and the amount which a person can invest in foreign equities in a year is around $2 lakh, which is quite a big amount. It's almost like 1.5 CR on an annual basis in an individual's name. So if your spouse can also invest, so if two people invest, they can invest up to $400,000 in a year, which is a big amount, and I think which will be sufficient to give you diversification in your portfolio. So this is it about international funds. So I hope you start looking at international funds or international market as a good investment option for you. So thanks a lot for listening to our video, and if you have any questions regarding whether you should invest in international funds or not, I'll request you to please mention them in your comment section. Thanks a lot. Thank you.